So here's the story of the 75 long wheelbase Silver Shadow. H and I weren't planning on getting a Rolls Royce, even though we'd always kind of somewhat fancied one. The 560 SL that I'd given Hannah for her birthday last year proved to be a little bit tedious. It had left us stranded a couple of times with a couple of annoying hot start issues and a few other annoying rattles and bumps and things that just kind of took the pleasure out of driving it a little bit. So anyway, long story short, we ended up going back to the place where we got the Mercedes from, asked them if we could trade it in against another similar price Mercedes. Lo and behold, sat in the corner of these guys' warehouse was this awesome olive green or Harrods green 1975 Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. Short story even shorter, we ended up trading the Mercedes in against the 75 Silver Shadow. So that's the story as to how we got it. We've owned it for like 48 hours. We are proceeding with caution because of course all our buddies told us to run away from that, don't even think about buying a 45-year-old Rolls Royce. So of course the more they told us don't do it, the more we decided, hey, how bad can it be? So here we are taking it on its first sort of maiden test drive. Obviously we're not going too far because worst case scenario, if this thing does break down, we don't want to be stranded. It actually broke down on the test drive, believe it or not. Well, it ran out of gas when we were going south on the 110, and then of course the battery was dead, so we couldn't start it. But Mad Dog's an Englishman. Even that didn't stop us saying, hey, you need to own a Rolls Royce, how bad can it be? So here we are taking a little cruise on the 110 north through the tunnels, one of my favorite sort of parts of LA, heading towards Pasadena, because it only seems fitting that a Rolls Royce really should be in that type of environment, plenty of lush greenery. It just seems to be at home there. Driving the Rolls Royce is sort of an interesting thing. It's a little bit like, I suppose, piloting a boat. The steering's pretty loose, the brakes are pretty questionable at this point. So, it sort of floats around and wafts around, but it's cruising in style. It looks awesome. It smells really, really good. It's got the old Connolly hide in it. And it's really just a joyful thing to drive. It's one of those smiles per miles type of journeys. It's got a few creaks, a few rattles. As you can see, the suspension is real floaty. At speed on the freeway, it's real loose. But there's a certain sense of sort of, I guess, enjoyment in the car, pride. And we're just going to see how it goes. So time will tell. Let's kick back, take a little journey right here. This is Hannah putting it through its paces. Looking good driving it. So here's what I know about the Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. It was in production from 1965 to 1980. It's also known as the Silver Wraith. The version we have has a V8 motor, which is 6.75 litres. It's a 3-speed automatic. The fuel gauge doesn't work. The speedo is not currently functioning, but we are falling in love with it. So stay tuned, we'll see how this thing develops, and slowly by slowly we'll take it on a few longer road trips, always in search of the Grey Poupon. So Rule Britannia, cheers and all that, and let's get out and drive.